I'm coming in loud and clear. Might hear me on the radio. Breaker, breaker, 19. Anybody got their ears on?
Hey guys, it's Eric here at Farpoint Farms. Shelby Hamfest was a huge success. As you can see, I've got a quick pile, and I'm going to go through some of this stuff with you. But I just want to say thanks to all the people who came over and said hi, shook hands, I talked, we took pictures with a few folks, and just had a great time. It must have been a dozen of you that came up and said hi, and I really appreciate that. It was a fun time. It was a beautiful day. My wife Jennifer was able to join me on this adventure, and we just had a great time. Every year when we get ready to do these Hamfests, I make a list of like things I'm looking for. And at this point in my life, I've owned just about every dream radio or dream equipment that I ever wanted. But there are still a few things out there, and there's things that interest me. There's things that like, oh wait, if you see one of these, pick it up. And so when it comes to some of this equipment, you're going to be like, what? And then I'm going to explain it to you. And I'm going to start off with this suitcase right here. This is a Panasonic OmniVision is what it is. It is a VHS camcorder. I got this for $5. He was asking $25, but he knew and I knew that no one else would ever want something like this. It is a full-size VHS camcorder. We got it home, and wouldn't you know, it actually came with 2 tapes, which is kind of cool because I don't have it, but about 4 tapes left in my collection. Why did I want this particular thing? Why was this on my bucket list? I had a Panasonic OmniVision or OmniMovie back in the day. In fact, I started filming in 2006 on YouTube. That channel's, well, it's still around, but it's long abandoned. And now when I started this channel in 2015, the first 7 or 8 videos I made were filmed on one of these. So at some point in the next 12 months, I'll make a video with my new 4K camera here, and I'll compare it to this, which is pretty close. It's like 2 model numbers off from what I had. We did test it last night, plugged into the wall, and it actually recorded. So I'm super excited to play with that. Over here, we got these 2 things. This one was actually free. The guy said he just didn't want to take it home. A realistic, and it's missing some knobs, but I have extras. 8-channel scanner, crystal controlled scanner right there. And he said it does work. Did come with the antenna and the power supply. But of course, crystals, trying to buy the crystals and find the crystals, more of a conversation piece at this point. Next to it, the only base station I picked up, realistic CB base station. It's a Navajo, it's probably one of the last Navajos. TRC 433 is the model on that. These were cool little radios. This one has a lot of use, and definitely I'll make a video on this. There's some stickers on it, and it definitely got some love. It has a Sears mic hooked up to it, which is kind of convenient because I did pick up a Sears radio somewhere over there, but I also was able to find a realistic microphone for it, a bass mic, so that's going to be a fun little video to make. Here you see on top, I am a fan of AM radios and AM FM pocket radios. I made a video on the Flavor radio here, in fact the same exact color. He threw this in for free because it was missing the battery case, but I found a guy who had a whole bunch of different makes and models of these, and I picked up a bunch, and I'll make some videos on the transistor radio era, which I think is a pretty cool era. Below that, it is the Radio Shack or Realistic DX200. Now I've made videos on the 100, the 160, and the 302, and the 394. Here's one that I hadn't owned yet. I saw it, it was the last thing we saw on the way out the door, and it was my last purchase of the day. Great radio, is functional, and I'll definitely go in depth on that one. This also is a little different than what I normally make on the channel, but I picked up a lot of older laptops. This one here is a mammoth. It's a Dell Inspiron 9400. Below it, a bunch of HPs. Over here, some vintage Pentium 4 and Pentium 2 processors. Whether they work or not, we'll find out together, but they were all $5 laptops. The reason I picked those up, and we've talked about it in other videos, I like to set up Shoutcast and BBS systems and then send them off to customers or viewers like you who are interested in running their own little online radio stations or having their own bulletin board systems. They're kind of in-house web system that they have, and these are perfect for that. As long as you can get them on the internet via Ethernet cable or wireless, these laptops are more than capable of running what I want them to run. This big one right here, I'm probably going to keep 17-inch screen. Now it's a Core 2 Duo on that one, but a lot of these are single core processors. It won't matter. And most of them even came with the power supply, so I'm happy about that. These were awesome. I wanted to share these with you. I will make a video on this as well. 2 old school CB radios, all about two-way radio from Radio Shack. 300 million copies, not 300 million, 3 million copies in print. And an older one, The Realistic Guide to CB Radio, 95 cents, and I don't know how old this is, but it had some really cool pictures and some very valuable information. You know, the funny thing about radio is, yeah, the technology of the radio itself might change, but the actual way radios work never does. So I'll show those off to you. And over here, these radios here are all radios that I bought to play with. A lot of Cobras. We had a Cobra Bluetooth 29. I don't think I've ever played with one of those. A Cobra Chrome 29. Don't think I've ever played with one of those. But then we got a Sears 23 channel with sideband. I thought that was an interesting radio, so I picked that up for like $2. And we got a Grant XL and a Cobra 140, which is a sideband radio. I've had the 146, I've had the 148, never owned a 140, so I'm kind of looking forward to playing with that one. And then some other random ones mixed in the bunch here. Of course, I'll make videos. I'll clean them up and see if they actually work first, because a lot of these, you know, I don't buy radios for more than, say, $15. The most expensive thing on the table was the DX200. Everything else you see here was, well, that was, you know, maybe I think I paid $15 for the base station. And I try not to spend more than $5 on anything else. So it may look like a lot of money sitting on this table, but we got out of there for less than $150, including lunch. So that was a good deal in my book. These radios right here, these are $5 40 channel radios. Those are going to kids. You know, I tell you, if you're interested in the radio hobby and you wonder why some of the bands are dead, it's because we're not getting new people involved. Well, I take it upon myself to help get new people involved. Anytime I see cheap antennas or cheap radios, I buy them and I give those out to people that come to me and say, hey man, I found your channel and I love it, it's cool. How do I get into CB radio? How do I get a GMRS? How do I get into fill in the blank? Having gone to a Hamfest and picked it up, that's how I do it. These things are usually not too hard to find, although with inflation, a $5 radio gets a little harder to find in decent shape. What the big surprise was for this trip, and I don't have a picture of it, but they're out in the car because they're going straight to work on Tuesday, is that I picked up 4 mobile magnet mount antennas, and that actually is a bigger rarity in this world when you're trying to get new people involved in the hobby than the radios themselves. Radios you sometimes find at Goodwills or flea markets and whatnot. Antennas, you just hardly ever see them. Anyway, that's it. You're going to see all this stuff. Of course, I'm going to work and play with it, and little by little throughout the rest of the year, you'll see these showing up in videos, and we'll go through them and we'll find out if they work and how well they work, and we'll do some reviews and stuff like that on them. But overall, you know, Shelby Hamfest, man, I tell you what, the years that was shut down for COVID, like I miss that more than anything. It is a great, you know, it's only about 2.5, 3 hours from the house. Great people, great location, huge, huge setup, and just loved it. Till next time, my friends, take care.